Yes, guys, look, big up all yourselves that are tuning in, even if you're a United fan or not. Obviously, you guys have seen the title. You can see what it is. It's about that man, Omar Berrada. I'm trying to explain as best as possible to educate anyone that doesn't know about this guy. I didn't know much about him until 2 days ago, and then obviously I said I'll do some research to see what we can actually find out about this man. Obviously a lot of people know that he was at Manchester City, but he wasn't directly under Manchester City. But now he's going to be joining Manchester United in their new so-called revolution under Ineos. But I'm here to explain a few things, and I'll try to my best. Do educate me if I do get anything wrong, but I believe I've seen enough threads, enough from Wiki and all that about him just to get a general consensus. I've been told that he was a fourth in charge and whatnot at City, but Ticky's right-hand man. People don't know Ticky. I believe he's their director of football of some sort at Manchester City. But look, first and foremost, anyone that is it, please smash the like button. Like buttons are super, super important. The thumbs up, totally free. And I know you guys don't mind spending free change. But yeah, man, and subscribe if you're new. But yeah, Omar Berrada. Look, I think I'm saying the name correctly. And what I found out a little bit about this guy is, look, first and foremost, Man United have made their first major appointment under the new regime, under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, however you may see it. And it sparks something new, something to get maybe a touch giddy about, but, we'll see it when we believe it, when other people come in, because we've seen this story before, where Man United fans, including myself, do get quite excited over something brand new because frankly enough, we're quite sick and tired of how it's been for over a decade, actually preferably even longer than that. It's ever since the Glazers have taken charge. Look, and I know if you're a rival or not, it just depends if you like football and want to be educated or not. So I understand maybe the majority of people would be Man United fans that watch this. But yeah, look, so we're going to talk about like what is the CEO's experience and what does he offer at Man United, right? So we're going to start going back in the day for him. First and foremost, he's born in Paris. So ultimately, he's got a French passport, but he's of Moroccan descent. So that's one thing straight. He grew up in Morocco as well, and he went to university in the United States, only just to drop out. And then, he went to pursue his business studies in the EU Business School. So, and then through that, he'd go to Barcelona. So people don't know this, is that he did start off at Barcelona, where literally his actual first experience was under an internet provider. People might remember. Do you remember Tiscali? Anyone remember? No? Maybe a little bit too old school. Everyone remembers the dongle as well. But yeah, look. That's where he made his first major breakthrough. And this is where his career started, right? And then his former boss left. And that's how he actually got into the footballing world of marketing, marketing development. This was back in 2004. So that's where it ranges 20 years ago. Not actually that long ago, 2 decades ago, where it was. But that's where his journey at Barcelona started in 2004, before their golden period came around. Remember 2004, Ronaldinho, and then obviously the resurgence of obviously Messi and obviously Pep Guardiola, and the massive, you could say, the best team that you've ever witnessed, potentially ever, to feast your eyes upon. But this is where he would go between, rise the ranks from the business development manager, stuff like that, and then he'll become at the head of the sponsorships. People need to understand that when we talk about sponsorships, like, this is part of football as well. It's not just the footballing side of things. If you're going to be chief of operations, whether it's under the City Group, working with Man City and all the development clubs that are going on around that group, then, there is a commercial side to things. That's how a CEO or COO runs things. So it's not just footballing side, but it does obviously affect your day-to-day work. But yeah, look, from what I was seeing, he was tasked with negotiating deals, global brands, for the Catalans, in my opinion, their behalf, is like, this is where they got the major breakthroughs. This is where Barcelona's marketing went from here to up there. So yeah, sorry, look, I'm trying to get my, trying to use my hands a little bit more. I thought I'd copy a couple guys, but yeah, look, and that's where T3 came in. And if you remember, T3, it was on the arm. It was actually a big brand back then. And then yeah, from there he would, pretty much thrive. And then before you know it, he was working at Barcelona, and that's where Man City began. Man City began. Obviously, people need to understand. Obviously, everyone knows Main Road. Everyone knows their history. But when we talk about City becoming a powerhouse in world football, that started pretty much in 2008. But then 2011, that's when things shifted. That's when he started winning the major honours. That's where he moved. He moved from Barcelona after seven great years for them, pretty much when they started their decline after Pep Guardiola left. Actually, to be fair, Luis Enrique was there, but the whole, they're in debt type situation. 2011, he'd moved to Manchester, and then he obviously become the head of international business in the task of growing Manchester City as a whole brand. So he was doing the business development side, and we continued to work somewhere similar in the role that he did at Barcelona, but this time obviously still he would be negotiating the sponsorships, and obviously we know through sponsorship, Manchester City as well, they used to be sponsored by, I believe it was it Umbro back in the day. I think most brands were, but yeah, look, everything that you see through Man City's kits back in the day, that would come through this man, Omar Berrada. Again, correct me if I'm not saying his name wrong, and then he'll be moved up. So people need to understand, if you're a Man United fan, this is what we've always kind of wanted personally. Obviously, I can talk at a personal level. Someone that actually has experience, someone that actually has roles within their career that they know what they're doing, and somebody that doesn't get given a job just because they trust them or they're a friend of a friend, Ed Woodward, etc., etc. Bankers, people that don't know what they're doing. So I'm trying to explain different roles of what I've been informed by that could lead Man United being on a global superpower once again, hopefully on the pitch. I know on the business side it's a different thing, but imagine the potential of Man United where they are now. It should be doubled in 2024. Let's be real. But yeah, look, he moved up to the director of partnership sales in 2013, and then senior VP commercial director of the City Group. Now, people don't understand. You need to understand one thing as well. He didn't directly work for Manchester City. Keyword, City Group. Chief of operations of the City Group. And that's before he got there. Obviously, he's now a director, right? At that point, City Group now owns Girona. And they own multiple clubs. I think they purchased one maybe in Brazil. And if I'm correct, they also purchased somebody else. I'm not too sure where. Maybe I should have done a little bit more research on that. But City are trying to become, obviously, global everywhere, anywhere in the world as well. Like, look at the impact they had in Japan recently as well. This is where you take the handle of responsibilities of maintaining business relations with major investors that helped City expand its marketing. And that's what they've always wanted to do. If you're going to become on the scale of Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Real Madrid and stuff, you have to, as a brand, you have to branch out. And who better right now, obviously known worldwide now due to pretty much one man and obviously the team. But before then, look, he had 7 great years. City would go and get Pep Guardiola, someone who was familiar with the whole team, Tiki, etc., etc. And then, by then, 2020, they've won a few Premier Leagues and they continue to thrive, and what we'd call maybe a Farmers League in this point. But yeah, look, he became the chief of operations of City, City, and would later become the chief of operations at the City Group. So then now he is the chief operating at Manchester City. That this is the only part where he's got there. So now he's also the COO, as I was explaining in 2020, where he'd oversee transfers, scouting, sports science, data analytics. He ran the whole shebang, the City Group, the whole shebang, right? And you got to think of Ineos, and we don't know what the relations are like between, which I'll maybe explain, between Lausanne Sports, Nice, Man United, but there's something similar, someone that actually grew it. So if you're a Man City fan and you're watching this back, you got to think, you got to be proud. Look how far you've come. And now, the people that labeled, us fans that labeled you the noisy neighbours, or aka Fergie and stuff like that. Now the noisy neighbours are taking, your goods. And obviously, if you're a Man City fan, you'd be annoyed. But this is Man City's brand. Everyone wants to be a Man City in today's age, or Real Madrid, or maybe even a Bayern Munich. You want to be ran successfully. It is part of it. So it's like a golden ticket right there. So look, he's done a lot. I've obviously been told that he's been involved with quite a few transfers, especially when it comes to selling academy talents for higher value, to City Groups. Oh yeah, New York, that's one of them. I forgot about them over in America, as well as Girona, as well like that. There's that Savio who's doing absolutely brilliant right now. Even when it comes to selling other, other targets, where maybe you might be James Trafford and so and co and all that sort of stuff. When you get your 20 millions, your 16 millions, and we think why can United not even sell their youngsters for anything? It's peanuts pretty much. We're seeing 500,000 for someone like Zidane Iqbal, and then we're seeing others, along the sides of, who else have we recently? Apparently Alvaro Fernandez might be leaving for something as short as 8 million. Man United, when it comes to selling, are absolutely woeful. So yeah, look, this guy has done absolutely, he knows that Man City inside out, and I'm pretty sure he'd have his own ideas how he'd want to run United. Will he get that power is another question, because remember, Ineos controls the sporting side of things, but when it comes to the commercial side of things, are the Glazers, big question, are the Glazers going to allow this guy to do what he does best? Yeah, and do what he has learned over many, many years. You know, over the time, you know, both at City and Barcelona, he's invaluable to their football and commercial success. Absolutely involved everywhere. Most Man City fans that know about him, especially Daps, who has a bit of a clue about him, will tell you about this guy. You know, he's, as I said, priceless. People like that. Experience is priceless. Being good at your job is priceless. It's something that you've worked hard upon to become successful. And obviously, look, he offers us perspective as well. Like, you know, the few in world football can. We all thought it was going to be Jean-Claude Blanc that comes in, but now he's a board member. You know, he's going to be directly, you know, reporting back to Ineos and so forth, and with the board as well. And they'll be pretty much under that. It's just, obviously, you got a CEO, not the CEO, the CEO. So he'll be handling pretty much loads of different tasks, and hopefully Man United can be where they need to be in the next how long, you know. Again, like, we got other assets. Man United, whether it's Nice, Lausanne Sports, you know, and stuff like that. Who knows what the future is going to be under this guy? But it's not going to be sitting pretty. It's going to take time. You know, Man United is absolute garbage scale. I don't really want to swear on video. You know, I might do on a live, but in here, it's garbage. It's top to bottom. It's absolutely garbage. And we yet to see who might be the, you know, when it comes to the head of recruitment or even a sporting director. Who knows who'll be under him as of yet? But, you know, he's had good relations, you know, with Ineos for a while. So it's not like they have not caught his eye. You know, you have to be drawn into his experience, you know, early from Barcelona and his early City days. You know, it's gonna be a task. Man United fans, don't get giddy yet. That's all I'm trying to say. But it's a golden ticket. It's a very key area to get someone like, we had Richard Arnold, John Murto, people like that run us, Ed Woodward. You know, people, just bankers, people that don't know anything but commercial success along them lines of how to bring in the money. So big shirts, you know, that don't do anything on the pitch. They're just here for a payday. You know, like, to put it short, pretty much, is that Omar Berrada's got massive experience with both footballings, the footballing realm and the business as well. And in the end, how to run a football club. That's all we need to know. You know, and that's the great recruit in the Sir Jim Ratcliffe regime. And, you know, that's all we can really ask for. And that's it. You know, I've been told that he's not really involved, you know, with City, with the whole 115 scandal, but I'm pretty sure his name was on a few of those emails. You know, why has he jumped ship so all of a sudden? How this come out of nowhere? We need to start asking the relevant questions. You know, I heard that he was very key in even getting Erling Haaland in, you know, for the deal that he did, and people were wondering, wow, you're getting Erling Haaland for what, around 60 million? Damn. You know, I heard he was very key in that. You know, when it came to even ignoring, like, I've got a thread that I'm going to read out to some of you guys. You might even be very, very surprised, right, about it, to be fair, because I found this thread and it's crazy, like, from what I was seeing. You know, if I'm going to give you some of these aspects of who they ignored to go get somebody else, it's mad. You know, I heard, look, City passed on signing Alexis Sanchez in January 2018 due to his wage. They got Riyad Mahrez instead. That's not just down to him, though. He's not just directly doing it by himself. That was Ticky's right-hand man. So they would literally swap, you know, answers and whatnot and ideas to see who they want to go. City passed on Jorginho in 2000. They got Rodri. You know, this is called good scouting. You know, Maguire. Who knows how Maguire would have fared out in the end at Man City? He probably might have thrived in 2019, but 80 million was deemed too much. So they got Diaz instead for 65 million. It's just little bits like that. Man United fans, look, it's good to be excited, right? But there's a long way to go, and this is key. And if I haven't explained this man's life a little bit, because you won't find much online or wherever, I thought I've done enough research to tell you who he is. But big up all yourselves. Make sure you smash the like button and also subscribe if you're new. If you do like the content, please share in the comments. Anything. I'll try to answer as much as I can. And also, if you do like content like this, then obviously I'll try and do some more when it is relevant at the time. In a bit, big up yourselves, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.